guys, welcome to this week's episode of Star Wars Saturday Night. I am Anthony, and this is Collectors Entertainment Network. We're going to finish out the sequel trilogy storybooks. We've already looked at The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and of course we're going to finish it out with The Rise of Skywalker. Before we get into that, I would like to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back. Please comment. I'd love to hear from you. Please like the video, and please share it with anyone you think might like it as well. Okay, let's get into it. All right, here is The Rise of Skywalker. Completely different from the other ones in its presentation. The inside is very similar, but much shorter. Size-wise, it is about the same height, a little shorter maybe. Put it there. It's a little bit shorter, and it is definitely not as wide. But this is all that they ever released. They never released something looking like this. This is the best and closest thing that you'll have to a storybook. So here it is, The Rise of Skywalker. There's the back. And of course this actually opens like this. And it even has a to and a from there. But it is similar in the sense that it's that sort of photorealistic painting type of thing. The Rise of Skywalker. But it is much smaller. And if you saw last week's episode, I was talking about things that I did not particularly like about The Last Jedi, and I won't bring that up here, because this is about The Rise of Skywalker, which I did love. I know people have issues with it, and that's not to say that I don't have issues with it, but at least I felt like I was watching a Star Wars movie when I was in the theater and left feeling satisfied. That is the main problem that I've had, and again, I don't want to get into it. I left this movie feeling excited and thrilled and could not wait to see what happened next. I left this movie feeling depressed, betrayed, and couldn't care what happened next. That's how I left the theater. Very upset. And then I put a lot of faith in JJ to sort of right the wrongs, and I feel that in this movie, he did the best he could, given the circumstances of what preceded. Looking back, I wish that JJ just did the entire trilogy. We would have had a more cohesive story. There we go. Finding the Sith dagger. And again, not to say there isn't questionable things. There's questionable things in just about every Star Wars movie, with the exception of maybe the first three, the original trilogy. But you sort of overlook them as long as the whole story as a whole is, what you're, makes you feel good about your Star Wars fandom. That was a cool scene. I like that. Oh, Sith 3PO. And of course they get captured. This was a cool scene, how they were sort of moving objects through, fighting and moving objects through space, that was just foreshadowing for the end when she had to get him the lightsaber. That was her jumping. Did she actually enter the vacuum of space, or did they sort of have a sort of shield, force field? I don't know, but she made it. Star Wars was never one for actual, science and physics like Star Trek would be. It's a fantasy, so, even on Empire Strikes Back, when they go out into, they're inside the space slug thing, but if you're actually on the inside of an asteroid in space, you wouldn't just go and wear you need a pressurized suit. You couldn't just go out with just, oxygen masks. But Star Wars has never been one to be too much about the science, and that's okay. It's not science fiction, it's space fantasy. Totally different kind of movie. That was a wonderful scene. And I love the fact that they played Yoda's theme during it, because it's reminiscent. I know a lot of people said this had like so many Easter eggs and so much fan service. It's like, well, it's the last movie in 9 movies. You've got to pay some stuff off, and you've got to do callbacks. Again, I liked it. I loved it. The only things, that I would change would be things that you can't really change because it had to sort of repair some of that. So, here I am talking about that again. You can't tell me that when, Poe's on the intercom saying there's too many of them, and then you hear the sort of, and then Lando's voice says, "There's more of us, Poe. There's more of us." And he, jets out to get a better, turn around, get a better view of what's going on. And it's just every spaceship in the galaxy with the Star Wars music playing. Oh, come on. If you didn't feel something, then you need to take your pulse. Especially if you consider yourself a Star Wars fan. When I saw that in theaters, I got goosebumps. This part I didn't like. The whole kissing, and even JJ said it's more of appreciation, not a romantic, because I am not a Reylo. Absolutely not. Well, I was on board with them being cousins, as I wanted, her to be Luke's daughter, and that they were cousins, but I am not a fan of Reylo. Oh, may the Force be with you. Because I don't think it looks good in that you have some guy who's like murderous, and and she's got the hots for him. That doesn't look good for her. That she falls in love with this guy who's like, it's okay if he redeems himself and sacrifices himself and all that. You could tell that tragic story, but in real life, as far as real life in here, I mean, you're saying she's got the hots for a cold-blooded killer? That doesn't look good for Rey. So I didn't like that, beyond the fact that I wanted her to be Luke's daughter and them be cousins. So, but that's a whole other story. I'm just showing you the storybook. See, I can't stop talking about it because there's so much to talk about. All right, a little sneak peek. I'm not sure if it's going to be next week we'll be starting this, but we will definitely be starting it at some point. We've done the original trilogy in 1 video. We've done the sequels in 3 videos. I want to do 3 more videos of the prequel trilogy movie storybooks. We've got The Phantom Menace. There it is. I have Attack of the Clones. I don't know exactly where it is, so I can't do that quite yet. It's somewhere in this house, but I got to find it, which is kind of why I went from original trilogy to sequel trilogy. I would have done it the other way. I would have done it in release order, but I got to find the Attack of the Clones one first. And then, of course, Revenge of the Sith. So I may start with this next week, or I may do something else, and then we'll pick this up in a few weeks or something like that. Not quite sure yet, but we'll definitely get to it. Okay, so that's it. The sequel trilogy movie storybooks. I guess that's about it. Please comment. I'd love to hear from you down below. Please subscribe. I would love to have you back visiting the channel, watching these videos. Please like this video, and of course, please share it with all those you think may like it as well. All right, that's it for this week. So until next week, may the Force be with you, and have a good one.